to Coors Light College Football Saturday.
Kansas State football fans brave the chilly conditions in Manhattan this morning to watch their Wildcats go for their 10th win and a possible share of the Big 12 title right now on College Football Saturday. It's a madhouse in Manhattan. The 11th ranked Kansas State Wildcats, coached by the sage of the Big 12, Bill Snyder, get ready to battle in a Big 12 game that could determine the conference champion. Across the field, one of the toughest defenses in the conference, the Iowa State Cyclone. They hit hard, they hit fast, and will make an offense cough up the football. For Iowa State, a final road victory will extend their postseason. For the Wildcats, it's a must-win for a chance at a BCS Bowl. Iowa State and 11th ranked Kansas State, a December to remember. This was the scene more than 2 hours ago. Lightning strikes, severe weather conditions, but fortunately they have moved out of the area for the time being as we welcome you to Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan. Big 12 College Football Saturday. Iowa State taking on Kansas State. And so much riding for both teams. K-State looking for help later tonight in the Bedlam Series matchup between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State as Colin Klein gets ready, as well as the redshirt freshman. And what a story for the Cyclones with Jared Barnett. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers alongside Brian Baldinger. And welcome to Manhattan, Kansas. We talked about what is on the line for both these teams and the bowl possibilities down the road. Well, Kansas State happens to be the biggest surprise in the Big 12 so far this season, if not the entire country. And the exceptional play of their quarterback is the real story, Colin Klein.
You're so right, Joe. I mean, this guy is so tough. And in a word, I mean, he kind of reminds me of Tim Tebow because he doesn't have the best arm. He doesn't have the best skills, but this kid wills his team to victory. Throwing a touchdown here to Chris Harper, his star wide receiver. This guy has run for 25 touchdowns. And he's got a toughness about him that in these conditions today, you're going to see the ball in his hands a whole lot. He's had a week off, so he's a little fresher right now. We should see some great quarterback play from Colin Klein. Well,
Iowa State has turned their season around. You know about the win just a couple of weeks ago over number 2 Oklahoma State. Now they come in winners in 3 of their last 4. They've really made significant progress on the defensive side of the ball, and they're led by an all Big 12 player in Jake Knott.
I really like watching Jake Knott play because anytime you watch him, he gets to the football. He's not the most explosive guy or the fastest guy in the country, but he's a football player, and he knows where to go. Here in the end zone against Oklahoma State, making a big play right there, and again, their big upset win against Oklahoma State. He was all over the field. So you want to find the ball, you'll find Jake Knott. He gets there, and he kind of spearheads this defense that has improved a great deal.
So cold and wet conditions in Manhattan, Kansas, and we talk offense and defense, but it may be the third area of the game that determines this one. Special teams. How will they handle that? When we come back, we'll join the third member of our team, Jim Knox, and be ready for the opening kickoff after the 90-minute delay. We thank you for your patience. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
They're playing their entire career, final home game in their entire career right now. As we go over here, Coach Bill Snyder, the Kansas State head coach, talking to him and telling him a job well done as he says goodbye to 22 seniors this afternoon. Very emotional day for these 22 seniors, and it's going to be interesting to see how they keep their emotions intact going up against Iowa State this afternoon. Joel.
And that is the key, not being too high, too amped up where it gets away from you early in the game and you're trying to do too much.
You know, Joel, I remember my senior day, my final home game, and my emotions got the best of me. I was playing against a very good player. I was too hyped up, and I didn't really get off to a good start. It took a long time to settle down. You always got to keep it in check.
K-State taking the field as the Wildcats have been a phenomenal home team. They've won surprising games on the road as well, as we saw on Fox. At Texas Tech and intercepting Daggy in the second half to come from behind and win down in Lubbock. And here come the Cyclones. They should be used to this weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Rhodes has done an amazing job at Iowa State, growing up just a few minutes down the road from the campus, knows the culture. And boy, have they turned things around. And don't forget, before Paul got there, they were 5-19 over the previous 2 seasons.
And they knocked off the an undefeated team in Oklahoma State that was thinking national championship, and they put that to rest, knocking off the Cowboys a few weeks ago.
There is nothing like that scene. They're in their own world right now. It's great.
It's college football, and we're coming to a head here. And 2 teams that have had really fantastic seasons that nobody expected or anticipated, except for the head coaches and their respective players.
Both were expected in the bottom third of the Big 12 this year. And here come the Cyclones trying to pick up a 7th win and enhance their bowl possibilities. They're already bowl eligible. They come into the game 6-5. 9-2 for Kansas State, though. An amazing 3rd year in the return of Bill Snyder. But the Cyclones are here, and it's only going to get better down the road with their head coach. They traveled from Ames. We're ready to go in Manhattan. Opening kickoff is up next.
All right, thanks, Joel. Coach, I tell you what, one of the keys in today winning the game for Iowa State, slowing down Colin Klein, the quarterback, already 25 touchdowns on the season. How do you keep him out of the end zone?
Well, you got to tackle him to the ground. And by that, I mean you can't allow him to move the pile. We're going to hit him. Other people hit him all the time, but he falls forward and he keeps gaining extra yards. We can't allow that to be a big problem today.
It's cold. It's rainy. Snow is on the way. Does that change your game plan?
Not unless it changes theirs.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I like it. It's the same for everybody out here.
Now you got to be mentally tough. And there's Colin Klein. He mentioned, keeping him out of the end zone. And he is tall. He is 6'5", 230 pounds, and just tough. In this kind of conditions, Joel, ball security is going to be paramount.
It feels a lot chillier than 44 with a wind chill of 40. Yeah, we may see. You see the precipitation. It continues to fall. And it's a real dense mist right now. It's a driving rain. We've had better than over an inch of rain, and we are underway in the season finale. Go over to the far side. It's going to be brought back by Aaron Horn. Man on the short kick. Good return across the 25. He's got it out to the 28. So the Cyclones of Iowa State from the 28. And offensively, well, Jared Barnett gets ready for his 5th career start. Hayworth Hicks has really improved his lot as the type of play he's had at right guard.
Well, big, powerful right guard, and Darius Reynolds is kind of their go-to wide receiver when Barnett does throw it. And this is a guy that can extend the play. Very quick, very athletic, and he's really been the guy that has given them the momentum behind this late season push, winning 3 in a row when he took over.
James White, he's in the backfield. Now, on a double move, contact, and a flag comes out. He wanted to go to Darius Reynolds, his senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. So the D-back on that side with too much contact with the ball in the air. So 1 snap, and already it looks like a pass interference call.
Well, they went to Darius Reynolds. Mentioned he's the go-to guy. Try to get him on a double move.
Pass interference. Number 2. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Called it on the safety. Tyson Hartman.
Well, you see Reynolds coming on the double move, and Hartman comes over the top, and he just gives him that push, and so that's the call. It's a good call.
Both got contact.
You can see, though, that they got a game plan for Reynolds. They're going to be banging him all day.
White in the backfield playing with a gimpy shoulder. And there was some question whether he'd be ready to go. Barnett just falls on it on the low snap. So already we see the snap come down low, slick to begin with. And maybe the weather had something to do with that. Defensively for K-State. And their 4-3 alignment. Volker's the playmaker on the outside.
Yeah, I like Volker a great deal. And then Arthur Brown has been their all-everything middle linebacker this year, the transfer from Miami. And Nigel Malone, with 7 interceptions, is the thief in that secondary.
At after the loss of 6. Give it off. And that's a return that has gotten time now. Jarvis West, a little guy at 5'7", 165, due to the injury to Josh Lenz. But good recovery by Kansas State as he tried to cut it back. It'll be only 3 up to the 41.
And I thought it was interesting watching Barnett on the fumbled snap from Farniak, the rookie or freshman center. First thing he did was just fall on it. Did not take any chances early in the game. He's wearing gloves right now because the ball is slick to try and protect the ball from slipping out of his hands.
So he empties it. 5 wide receivers in the set. Looks at the shallow cross. He's got it. It's complete to Reynolds, and he gets the first down. As he pushed down by Lemur, the strong side backer who caught up from behind. Took a while. He came all the way across the field, and Barnett found him.
Well, he got him on a shallow cross, but you got to handle the pressure. And this is what Barnett can do. He can escape the pocket. He can take the hit and then get it in the hands of the playmaker like he did to Reynolds.
So from their own 28 after the pass interference call, and then the negative yardage off the first snap that put him off schedule. It's a first down now in K-State territory. The Wildcats 41. Good seal over to the right side, and a good drive by White for 5 down to the 36. Our Coors Light game plan coming in for Iowa State.
And, you know, in this type of weather, ball security is huge. Kansas State, that's been their theme all year, taking care of the football. And then they want to make Colin Klein throw the ball rather than run it today. And then they had tremendous emotion a couple weekends ago when they beat Oklahoma State and Ames. If they can play with that type of emotion and it can overcome some deficiencies talent-wise.
Sophomore from Dallas. James White of the backfield with the redshirt freshman Barnett. It's White again. Arthur Brown has been a sensational player from the first snap of the season for the K-State Wildcats, the junior from Wichita.
Well, we met with him yesterday, and he is a very confident player, very articulate. Here he is in the middle, and he's just going to come to the ball. That's what he does. He follows the ball. You see him he starts moving a little bit early, anticipates the play. That's what happens when you spend hours and hours in the film room. You start to see the tendencies that Iowa State has.
3rd and about 4. Trips on the wide side of the field. Barnett looking again, waiting, and it's in and out of the hands of Aaron Horn. It got there, and then it was pried loose. Now was it Brown again with David Garrett?
It was Arthur Brown picking up the crossing route of Horn, and this Arthur Brown is a complete player. Horn's just going to run the shallow cross. Actually, that's a heck of a play. How about that one? I mean, he bumped the receiver on the drive route, and then he picks up the underneath route. That's the play of a middle linebacker in the NFL to be able to do those kind of things.
Yeah, what a read. What great awareness, as you mentioned. It'll be 4th and 4. Barnett underneath again, slightly behind, and it cost him. It's complete, but Darius Darks, I don't believe he got the first down. He couldn't get a yard after he had to go back to get it. And they hold after a gain of only 3. Brown and Chapman on the coverage.
Well, Brown came on a delayed blitz. He got in the face. You're going to see Brown's going to come on a delay up the middle. But then on the backside, you're going to get Chapman, who does a good job of separating Horn from the ball. Well, actually, just driving him short there, huh?
If it's in front of him,
so
it's a first down.
They haven't moved the chains yet.
No, it's a first down. K-State, they take over on downs. Colin Klein ready to go, and nobody in the backfield with him. Now it's John Hubert. And there goes Colin Klein. Look out. He's got a first down. Gain of 12, almost 13. Colin Klein, the 6'5", 225-pound junior from Loveland, Colorado. Behind Clyde Offner, the senior from Raymore, Missouri, on the right side.
Starting his 32nd game for Kansas State. Chris Harper is physically a stud, as strong and big as anybody in the country. When he gets his hands on it, he's hard to bring down.
Angelo Peace takes over in the backfield. Not many carries for him. Klein, quarterback run all the way, and not much. Still, his length and his savvy gets him 3 out of the play from the 45 to the 48. Now defensively for Iowa State. In their 4-3 alignment, Neal has been making plays, the senior from West Des Moines.
Wow, he's his 28th start, and Jake Knott leads his team in tackles. He gets to the football. Leonard Johnson I mean, he's done some fantastic work this year, shutting down Blackman and Oklahoma State, some big receivers here in the Big 12. They don't throw his way a whole lot.
Jake Knott second in the Big 12 in stops per game. They've got two of the best tacklers in the Big 12, in Jake Knott and A.J. Klein. On 2nd and 7, the zone read. Hubert not completely shut off the play, turned him in. And the other backer was there as well, Taufo.
Yeah, well, for Kansas State, it's run, run, run. I mean, that's whether it's in Colin Klein's hands or Hubert's hands, they're going to run it. And then they want to contain Jared Barnett defensively, not let him get out of the pocket. And Kansas State takes great pride in the kicking game in all phases of it, whether it's the returns, whether it's the field goals, whether it's handling the ball. Winning the kicking game is what they pride themselves in.
It'll be 3rd and 9 from the K-State 46.
They want to try to make Klein throw the ball here.
Pocket starting to collapse, and so does Colin Klein. He's brought down. Rumpelhammer got him from behind, the senior from Tulsa. Coverage sack, though, and they were in press on 2 of the 3 receivers.
Well, it was just a 4-man rush, but the coverage held up down the field. Really no place for Klein to throw it. And at 6'5", he can see over the trees, but when it collapses on him, even Colin Klein couldn't escape that type of pressure. Good series by Iowa State.
Brian Dorr punting to Aaron Horn. So 1 first down and a punt. And downwind, a wobbler that's going to hit inside the 20 and roll out of bounds near the 19. So both teams have had it. Feeling out process is over, and Iowa State gets the ball when we come back to Manhattan. We are in Manhattan on a chilly, gray day. And we feel fortunate to be here. This is the first December home game for the Wildcats since 1896. And I wish they were playing 2 more.
Were you there?
I mean it. Don't want this season to end. It's on a play fake to Hubert, and Colin Klein wrapped up immediately. For Rumpelhammer, got to him after a gain of only 1.
But you see that run by Colin Klein? I mean, he just sticks his head into the belly of the defense. I mean, play after play, game after game. Top rushing quarterbacks, Colin Klein, over 1,000 yards in climbing. It was a great season by Denard Robinson. His year is finished.
Well, he's 6th overall among running backs and quarterbacks in the Big 12. The average is 92 yards a game. It'll be a 2nd and 9. Little stunt and a loop. Yeah, they're going to get to Klein, although he maintains his balance, and now he's finally dropped. Neal got him. They should have had him. Jake McDonough actually had the sack, the junior from Urbandale, and then Neal cleaned up late.
Well, listen, Joel, that's good coverage down the field. You can see Colin Klein is scanning the field. But when as soon as he takes his head down like that, the play, he's not going to find anything down the field. He's got to learn to keep his head up and his eyes down the field to find the receiver. Otherwise, he's got to throw that ball away.
And he didn't put it up for grabs because they don't beat themselves.
That's true. But that's Jake Knott in coverage. That's a very good corner down the field, and Leonard Johnson.
Now out of the gun. On 3rd and long. 14, almost 15. Here comes the heat again. He eludes the pressure, and it's dropped by Hubert in the flat. So we talked about the slick pigskin. Man, it got away from Hubert.
Let's just watch the fundamental here of Colin Klein, because it's just a 4-man rush. There's no blitzing by Iowa State, but now his head's, he keeps at least his eyes down the field that time. That's just a drop by Hubert. But really, Iowa State, this is a great game plan, forcing Colin Klein to throw the football. That's exactly what they want to do.
Should get great field position. Horn sees a wobbler and backs up. Man, it almost got one of the Cyclones going by.
Did it?
It did not, though. It almost got jams. And now it's going to be, after a very good punt and a nice roll for Dorr, it'll be the Cyclones' ball at their own 35. One of the wins this year An upset just a couple of weeks ago, number 2 Oklahoma State. In the locker room after that game, Coach Rhodes, inspirational, the subject of our Toyo tires, driven to perform.
Congratulations, you men are going bowling again. That we were unified and we were one team, and you were bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. And for that, men, I am so proud.
That's why you want to become a head coach. For scenes and memories like that, Joel.
Yeah, the emotion, and they are going to buy in when you completely sell it yourself, as Paul Rhodes does.
He's the messenger.
He is so passionate about what he does. Now White with a huge hole up the middle. He's into the secondary, and he's got it across the 45 for a gain of 13 out to the 48. So as we get together and we talk to Paul Rhodes, he's really easy to like.
Well, watch this hole on right up the middle here, behind the freshman center, Tom Farniok and Ethan Tufte. That hole just split wide open, and White hit it full speed.
You and I couldn't get through that hole. And it's complete. Just a little pivot play. Albert Gary got it. Albert Gary's been hot. He's had 16 catches over the previous 3 games, and he's got another first down. So they're moving the ball. The field position belongs to Iowa State. They better take advantage of it and get some points, though.
No question about it. And that throw, that time by Barnett was right on the money to Gary, who had the big game against Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago. Had the 7 catches and a touchdown, over 100 yards of receiving against the Cowboys.
It'll be a first down outside of the 41. So back-to-back first downs. Woody will get it over to the left side, and he barrels his way for about 6 down to the 36.
I like Woody. They call him the big bruiser, and that's what he is. Probably a little ding into the shoulder. You see the tape coming off of the left shoulder pad.
I didn't think you'd like a finesse guy. Right. I mean, it just goes hand in hand that you'd like Woody.
But that's the kind of guy that sort of comes out of nowhere in a game like this. Bad conditions, wet field. Those are the kind of guys that thrive in it.
It'll be White. His call this time. And a little bit of a lane over to the left side. Short of the first down by a yard.
It's all about having a good lane. That goes to what we were doing last night in our little bowling tournament.
Classic bowling tournament put together by our producer. Just 24 men strong. Now, on 3rd yard, guess who? Barrel-chested Jeff Woody.
I saw Kelechi Osemele, the left tackle, get knocked out of the way. Woody ran right into the back of the all-pro left tackle. He doesn't mind.
So it started back at the Iowa State 35. Right, now Kansas State.
Look at that face mask.
The point of the drive is at the K-State 30. Woody stays in there.
Good power football by Iowa State.
Oh, little gadget play. And it's going to be a jump ball in the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa State. Darius Darks wins that one.
What a day for a little gadgetry. Why not? They'll throw back to the quarterback. He could have had either receiver. 2 receivers were wide open down the field, but Darks timed that jump perfectly.
So a little flea flicker on Nigel Malone.
Oh, nice throw this time. Gave his receiver. You see, Darks just put Malone on his back. Just played a little low post basketball with him to bring that ball down.
2:01 to play as Geyer is in for the point after, and a clean exchange. Placements are going to be critical this afternoon. So Iowa State trying to pull off the upset, has the first point of the contest. A look back though on the play. It wobbled at the end, but as you say, the receiver had the position like a seal on the boards.
Well, the power football game, you know, Arthur Brown steps right up. Okay, and now Barnett gets a clean pocket, puts a lot of air under the ball, but watch this positioning of Malone. Perfect job by Darks of keeping him on his back, and you got nothing but blowing kisses at the K-State fans here today.
So it's a 30-yard touchdown pass on a drive that started back at the 35.
And you said, Joel, that they had to take advantage of the position, the field position that they've been getting because of great defense, and they did that time. And look, I thought that was a great call off play action, a little bit of gadgetry, but a great play by Barnett and Darks in the end zone.
Graham Mahoney will kick it away. They have two place kickers. And now the high short one is going to be picked up by Thompson at the 18. Took it away from a teammate and takes a pop going across the 30 out to the 32. Walker Lee Woods on the coverage. Well, the winner earns the Big 12's automatic BCS berth later tonight. Bedlam. And it is a special series between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. 8 of the 12 in the Big 12 at least. 8 of the 10 they're going bowling. And unfortunately, news we didn't like to see out of College Station, a good guy losing his job, Mike Sherman.
He sure did. He did a great job of recruiting. Unfortunately, they had a bunch of fourth quarter collapses throughout the season. One of those losses to Kansas State. A key early season loss to Oklahoma State. I hate to see it because Mike's a good coach and a good man.
Now Calvin Klein lofting it and perfectly timed. It's caught. Going the distance. Tremaine Thompson. Touchdown K-State.
Who said you can't throw the ball in inclement weather? It's football weather, and Colin Klein answers right back with a big play of his own.
He beat safety Jacques Washington. And was it ever. Lofted beautifully for his man to run under it.
Well, Tremaine Thompson is their speedster. He's only 5'7", but they got him matched one-on-one with the safety, ran right by him.
Cantelli for the point after. Man, just like that. So we had a 30-yard score, and on the very next snap after the change of possession, a 68-yard pass.
Here's this. You're going to see the isolation by Thompson on the play, and a perfectly thrown ball by Colin Klein. Doesn't get enough credit for his ability to throw the deep ball with touch. But you can't lay it up any better, and that's what you want your speedster to do. He never looks behind him. Trust that his speed's going to get to the end zone, and nobody's going to catch him.
So a guy that's known for his rushing touchdowns. You see what he's done over the last 3, the previous 8, but it's 25 rushing touchdowns. That's the story coming into the game. Only 2 off the national record for quarterbacks. Only 2 off the Big 12 season record held by the old Texas Longhorn Ricky Williams.
But his passing is improved the last 3 weeks. Colin Klein, a former receiver himself, converted to quarterback, got a younger brother that they say could be as good as what Jordy Nelson was here a couple of years ago. Going to be a wide receiver for him down the road.
Aaron Horn's going to bring the kickback from his own 5. Man, a big wall over to the right side. Going to the outside, great return by Aaron Horn. As he's collared and dropped, knocked out of bounds to the 45 by Matthew Pearson. Well, tomorrow it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. The Falcons head to Houston. Good matchup taking on the Texans. Then in America's Game of the Week, Packers looking to stay undefeated as they battle the Giants. Coverage all starts tomorrow for the Bill Ford's Up Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, noon Eastern. Check your listings for the game in your area.
You know, the Packers have a 17-game winning streak going back to last year, and it started with a Week 16 victory against the Giants a year ago when they put up 45 points. They haven't lost a game since.
Slide the tight end. Hammersmith in motion. Barnett throwing on first down, or will he? Trying to make a miss, but it was Garrett from behind. And Adam Davis as well. Adam Davis, the left end, on top of him.
Well, it's just a 4-man rush. And Barnett thought that he could kind of dodge and dart by some time. He does have this type of quickness, but good hustle by Davis coming from behind him to finish him and knock him for a yard loss.
And it's a sack. It's a loss of a yard. Now the quick one to the outside to Josh Lenz. Lenz making the first one miss. That is just shy of a first down by about a yard. Dropped by Tyson Hartman. And wait a minute, they put it down at the first down marker. Move the chains. Good job by Josh Lenz, the junior from Dubuque.
Let's just take a look at Jared Barnett throwing the ball here off the play action. He's got a good, quick, compact motion. He's only 6 foot tall, but the ball snaps out of his hands. If he becomes more accurate in these games, this kid's a kid that we're going to be talking about in the Big 12 for a number of years.
Well, he's only 6 feet, but as we talked to Paul Rhodes, that has not been an issue. Between and in and out of the hands of Hammersmith, the tight end. Good coverage. They had him sandwiched completely.
Well, when you throw the ball underneath against Kansas State, you're going to get good linebacking play and good secondary play. They're going to hit you now. Their eyes are up. They're very fundamentally sound, and so you get your hands on the ball. You've got to squeeze it and tuck it away immediately.
It'll be 2nd and 10. White stays in the backfield. Final minute. Very entertaining first quarter. Nice alley over to the left side. White making a miss. Now he gets a block. Look out. Inside the 20. Should he wait? To the 5. He's all the way to the 1. Garrett. And I said should he wait because he had a wide receiver. Actually had Barnett, the quarterback, trying to come up and apply a block for him.
Well, I tell you, James White came in a little banged up today, but he doesn't look banged up. This is a big-time play now. Because that cut and that making Kansas State miss 2 tackles, and now you see the breakaway speed down to the yard line.
It's Woody going up the middle, and he's in. Touchdown, Iowa State. As we'll look back, because I believe it was 9, not 8 potentially. Hollis, who had that long run. Duran Hollis, a redshirt freshman from Fort Worth, yes. So White, we talked about the shoulder injury. Woody gets into the end zone. But we'll look back because it was, I believe, 9 who had the run, not 8. But it all set up. Some beautiful blocking as Geyer is in for the point after.
Iowa State's offense is clicking. Some big plays in the first quarter.
And it's blocked. Alive on the ground, and that'll do it. We talked about what K-State does in special teams. Raphael Guidry, senior from Texas, got in there.
Unbelievable, Rhodes says, but that's what Kansas State thrives on, making these kind of plays in the kicking game.
It looked like Guidry straight up the middle.
And Guidry is 94. He's right over the center. Yep, got both hands on the ball. He is a powerful man, a senior, one of those 22 seniors, and makes his presence felt right up the middle. You can't take a play off.
Now look back at the run, and it is Duran Hollis.
Yes, it is. The guy they call Duck. This is Duck weather. It's a good pull that time by the center. Farniak gets a good block on the outside, getting Hollis to the open field. His first carry of the game. Just the freshman, and then the big bruiser punches it in. Big plays for the Cyclones here in the first quarter.
Johnson waits for the kick. It'll be a short one, taken at the 20. Covered well, though. Yeah, he is dropped at about the 27-yard line. Well, Hollis, at the beginning of the year, in the first few games, Hollis was wearing number 24. So the redshirt freshman from Fort Worth switched to number 9. It's a 5'9", 205-pounder. So we talked about the shoulder injury with White. And there's the conversation with the running backs coach.
Well, they're using all 3 of them, obviously, here today. And what a splash that the man they call Duck makes in his first carry.
It's run the 26 for K-State. So on senior day, they play catch-up once again. Hubert, and now a gadget play going the other way. But Iowa State stays at home for Chris Harper, who's trying to get back to the line and does exactly that. Maybe a yard before Teron Benton forces him out of bounds. Boy, Iowa State assignment positioned very well on the play. And Iowa State with a strong start over the first 15 minutes. They're on top of the road 13-7. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Second quarter. First 4 possessions for these two teams, nothing doing. And all of a sudden, it all broke loose. Started with a flea flicker. Darius Darks, jump ball, 30-yard pass. Iowa State with the first points of the contest. And then on the very first snap of the next possession, Thompson blocked it beautifully by Colin Klein for 68 yards. It was all even at 7 until Duran Hollis. And there's the 3rd back already employed today by Iowa State. Took it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Garrett saved the touchdown, but Woody was ready on the next one. And that's where it stands after a blocked extra point by Raphael Guidry. It's a 6-point lead. So Iowa State moving the football consistently, as opposed to the one big play so far. 68 of the 75 yards for K-State on that touchdown pass.
Well, Iowa State's ready to play it today, and they've got a good game plan, and they're attacking them in a lot of different ways. Woody with the second touchdown for the Cyclones today.
First snap of the second quarter. It'll be 2nd and 9, K-State. Klein on a quarterback draw. Turning the corner. Man, look at him go. That's what he's done all season. He's a long strider. He's not exceptionally fast. He's a tough kid at 6'5", 220 pounds.
See, I would differ a little bit, Joe. I think he's got top-end speed. It just takes him a little while to get there because of that stride. So now he gets to, like, open up here. Now the speed is gaining. You know, now he's able to outrun the secondary, get out of bounds, and pick up the first down. I don't think he's got great quickness inside a phone booth, but once he gets open, I think he runs in the 4-5 category.
And the one thing Bill Snyder kind of emphasized when we spoke with him earlier this week, his toughness.
Yeah.
The respect he has from his teammates because he is so tough. Hubert, he just barrels his way up the middle for 5, out to the 47, tripped up by Cleon Lang.
We talked to Bill Snyder about his offensive line that protects Colin Klein. He just said they're maulers. You know, they're not fancy. You got Zach Hansen, he's 6'8". Not a lot of guys 6'8", the left tackle, can bend, but that's what they do up there. Put them in the buffet line and put them out there on the line and let them go ball people.
And that's what they do, and Paul Rhodes concurred with that. The head coach for Iowa State, Hubert, little crease, he's got a first down. Paul Rhodes said they may not be the most talented offensive line we'll see, but I don't think there's any question the most physical offensive line we'll see this year.
Well, take a look at Jake Knott, number 20, in the screen. He's going to go find the football now. He takes on one of those maulers. As soon as he takes on a mauler, here comes Hubert. Just blasting him, but that's how you become the leading tackler, for the Cyclones, and one of the best tacklers in the nation is by being able to fight off those blocks of the maulers.
It's a first down on the drive that started back-to-back first downs for K-State. First time that's happened today. Started back at their own 26. Little counter action, and Hubert finds the hole. He's inside the 40, down to the 39. Now they're picking up some chunks. That was good for 8.
Little delay handoff that time by Klein, but very traditional. From underneath the center, just kind of like a little delayed draw on the handoff, but it's going to open up right in the middle. Good double team at the point. Excellent job by the right guard, Colton Freeze, the senior, opening up some lanes inside.
Ran A.J. Klein right out of the play. 2 minutes into the second quarter. A 6-point lead for Iowa State. It's an ugly, gray, wet day in Manhattan, Kansas. Same play, other side. Matt Hubert gets the first down. He's down to the 35.
B.J. Finney is the center. Colton Freeze, the right guard. Nick Pitts, the left guard, doing a good job up front. Good double teams. Good job at the point. You look up, and lo and behold, there's a nice 4-yard gain on first down.
They are big across the offensive line. Potsu, you're looking at, he was 6'4". There's Finney, 6'4". Freeze, 6'4". Offner, 6'6". 6'8" on the left side. Zach Hansen. Now the play fake. Little chip for Klein, and a resourceful one, but off the fingertips of Braden Wilson. So Klein got away from the initial push. Yeah, that almost made a play out of it.
Well, he stepped up because he saw the outside contain coming at him. Nice spot for the mouth guard right on the top of the helmet. They can get the play calls out to the maulers up front. He'll take it off of his helmet, stick it back in. There you go. There's a habit and a ritual play-to-play for Colin Klein.
2nd and 10 outside of the 35. Hubert will join him on the jet. He'll go short side. Man, nice lane on that side. First down, Colin Klein, as he's pushed out at the 20. You like that block by Finney?
Nice job. You mentioned the patience, Joel, and really, he wasn't in too big of a hurry. He kind of just let the maulers do their job on the outside. Little fake on the jet sweep. Now just patient, just getting behind him, and then just a quick burst, and he never just goes out of bounds.
Pulled to center.
Yeah, that's Freeze. That's a nice job of running by Klein, the guy that you know, carries it over 20 times a game, average.
He's got trips on the wide side of the field. And there's movement. It's on right away.
False start offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's been a pretty amazing season for Bill Snyder as we look back on that false start.
Well, that's the right guard, Colton Freeze. He's the senior. This is his final home game. And no telling exactly what made him move. Colin Klein does a lot of the counts, sometimes silent if it gets too noisy in there.
I asked Bill earlier this week if he could have ever seen this team as a 9-2 team, and he said he's been wrong so many times when he's tried to predict.
Yeah.
He stopped doing it a long time ago.
Probably good exercise to stop it. Just leads to a lot of disappointment some years.
It'll be a 1st and 15. And now, middle of the field's available. Knocked away at the last second from Chris Harper. Well timed by Jeremy Reeves.
Nice play by Reeves, and this secondary is talented of Iowa State because Harper is a big target. I thought it was thrown a little bit behind him, but nice job of timing the jump by Reeves. Harper's about 225 pounds, and the ball was well thrown by Klein.
And timing it without hooking the guy. So
Yep.
often you see the left arm and the hand.
Well, he's got a vertical leap, Joel. That's his hang time.
And Reeves is only 5'7".
Yep.
So that means he's 5'6" if they list him at 5'7".
You never believe that
No,
size
come
chart, do
on.
you?
It's like basketball. 6'8", yeah.
You gotta fight for those
And
inches.
2-inch pumps. Now, Colin Klein on 2nd and 15, going after the middle again. Off the fingertips again of Chris Harper. How about it back-to-back for Jeremy Reeves?
Was that a replay? Because it was exactly the same throw.
Well, they ran that delay counter back-to-back.
Well, okay, but this is for the touchdown. This is for the marbles to their big receiver. Here's Harper on the outside now. Again, it's just one-on-one. There's no help from the safety. Nobody. And again, Joel, great timing without the hook. Oh, that's a tremendous play by Reeves on back-to-back shots in the end zone.
So now 3rd and 15. Empty backfield for Klein. And a timeout taken. First of the half for either side, and it comes 4 minutes into the 2nd quarter. So we'll come right back and see what Bill Snyder's Wildcats do on a 3rd and 15 at the Iowa State 25. Hit. That set up the game-winning field goal. Kansas State 36-35. And he was also the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week following that victory. Now, Colin Klein out of the timeout, 3rd and 15. K-State, the 25 of Iowa State. Down by 6. Little twist up front. And now Colin Klein buying some time. Yeah, he'll get it down to the 20. Not much there, though, on the completion as Broderick Smith took it in. You know, our Geico quote, and it comes also from Arthur Brown, playing to be one of the few teams in state history to win 11. It'd be a great honor to be a part of a team that works that hard, understands that it is not about any individual, all about the team. And after spending a few minutes with Arthur yesterday, we can understand why now. What a gentleman.
He really is.
He's a well thought out guy.
Yeah, you know, he's from Wichita. He went to Miami, transferred back here, and wanted to be closer to his family. And he is now, and they get a chance to watch him every week.
Cantelli sends it on its way. The 36-yarder is good. So Anthony Cantelli, another guy out of Wichita, a junior just like Arthur Brown, makes it a 3-point affair in Manhattan. 13-10 Cyclones.
And length.
One of the more emotional games we have called in many years, as you can tell by Paul Rhodes and his celebration right after it was decided. And that's why everybody feels so strongly about Paul Rhodes and what he's doing at Iowa State. He puts it on the line.
Yeah, he does. He wears it on his face, too.
So outside of the 12, caught at the 13 officially. The drive starts there. Man, nice little hole for Woody. Got tripped up, though. Outside of the 16 for a gain of 3.
See, I think for Paul Rhodes here, I think you want to be aggressive. You want to try to score, but not at the expense of being foolish with the football. Ball security still very important deep in your own territory. Still got the lead. I think you got to stay aggressive with it. See if you can make a play on the outside in one of those special athletes' hands.
This is not a high-scoring team. The Cyclones of Iowa State. Option, Barnett, and he's belted. Coming across. They held him up. For the pop by Trey Walker, Garrett had him low. And a big third down coming up because K-State still has 2 timeouts on the board. And I mentioned they're not a high-scoring team. Well, they're 8th in the Big 12 in scoring, a little over 23 points a game. So you better maximize each possession. You can't afford to turn it over, especially against the team that is 7th best in the country in turnover margin.
Well, that's what hurt them last week in that loss to Oklahoma. They played in bad weather, wind and rain, and they turned it over too many times.
It'll be 3rd and about 5. Ben way ahead of his intended target, Darius Reynolds. And maybe the inexperience showed there a little bit.
Well, I mean, that was just one of those throws that Paul Rhodes was talking about. Just, you know, not accurate, way in front of Darius Reynolds. Good coverage by Nigel Malone on it, but really Reynolds never had a chance for it. In K-State, it's a good series. They're going to turn this ball over, and they should get good field position as a result.
Vanderkamp averaging better than 44 on his career. And if it stays that way, that's an Iowa State record. It's brought back by Tremaine Thompson from the 37. Great coverage downfield, though, by the Cyclones. Jared Bracken's there as we head down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, Joel, coming up on the Sprint halftime show, we'll take a look back at the plays of the year in the Big 12. You don't want to miss this. A lot of outstanding plays. Also, how about maybe the play, not only the plays of the year, but also the game of the year. Not just in the Big 12, but perhaps in the entire country. That's coming your way on the Sprint halftime show, Joel.
Well, triple overtime with Iowa State was pretty good.
That was good, but there's one better than that.
Quadruple?
Yeah.
13-10. Iowa State, but a lot of time left and 2 timeouts for K-State with great field position at their own 38. It'll be Hubert joining Klein in the backfield.
You got to be thinking at least field goal here with 2 minutes to go.
It's almost like they wanted middle screen. Instead, the slide, it's a catch, and Tannehill's got the first down. Going down to get it, Travis Tannehill, the junior from Overland Park.
Well,
and did he get it?
Well, that's that time Klein really rescued the play. Tannehill went down. It's a good catch. Sliding catch. Didn't allow the ball to hit the carpet.
Klein steps up with the pressure. Now the deep ball. Ben, good coverage. Boy, Jeremy Reeves has been all over Chris Harper, and that was a good play. Harper was trying to free himself up, find some space, but Reeves had position.
Well, again, I mean, Harper was trying to go through Reeves to get to the ball. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive for it. There it is on the outside. This is good man-to-man sticky coverage. He beats him to the inside. He takes him away from him. You can't play it any better. That's what you call a man turn, Joel. You actually turn it to the man, and you don't start looking for the ball until he looks for it. Third-rate coverage by Reeves today.
Yeah, in the left hand of Harper, he tried to throw Reeves out of the way at the end of that play. 93 seconds left in that. And now on 2nd and 10. Pocket holds up for the pop over the middle to Hubert. Breaks a tackle for the first down. A rare broken tackle as he got away from Jake Knott, who we've been talking about. They don't get away from him often.
No, but there's good cup protection this time for Klein to be able to get to his check down. Looking down the field. That time he didn't have to break the pocket. And you're right, Jake Knott doesn't miss many of those tackles. He's a good check down receiver out of the backfield for Kansas State.
So they started their own 38. Now down to the 31. This is about where they stalled, and a timeout is coming up. Iowa State uses the first of the first half. Now, this is the last possession. They stalled right inside the 40. Well, this college football season, Fox Sports is proud to support Dream Foundation. We're making dreams come true for adults facing a life-threatening illness. There's no greater time to help those who need than when time is limited. So text DREAM to 41518. Donate $10 and turn dreams into lasting memories. The Bedlam Series will determine the champion of the Big 12 this year. That's later today. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. You can never predict. I've done a number of Bedlam Series games. They are so much fun to be a part of.
It's in Stillwater.
Yep.
And let's face it, if Oklahoma wins and Kansas State wins here, there's a three-way tie for first place. It's 7-2 between Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and K-State.
So you think they're rooting just a bit for Oklahoma? Just a bit?
Might be having an eye on that.
Because officially,
it's always hard to do what you got to do.
You'd have a share of the title.
Yes.
You would know the tiebreaker, but you'd have a share.
But you'd still be conference champions.
Now Klein on 1st and 10. Scrambling efficiently again. Tracked down, but he got 6. Down to the 25. Patrick Neal on his back.
This Colin Klein has good radar. Good radar of where the defender is. I mean, he's gonna feel the pressure, and then when he breaks away, he feels it coming from his left. That's why he darts back to the right, picking up just a few extra yards.
Inside of a minute to play in the half on 2nd and about 4. Good zone read. Klein's got it inside the 15. First down. Well, you talked about radar and awareness. Well, great vision.
This is not easy to teach, Joel, because this is a read option off of the nose tackle. Watch what they do here coming down the line. Look at that read. I mean, perfect. They're all going outside here. He sees this opening. They take Knott out of the way. Big run up the middle for Klein.
Yeah, Latimer had the running back completely.
Yep.
Now Klein on 1st down inside the 15. And in the flat, nobody covered. Hubert at the 5. He's down to the 1, 1st and goal. Plenty of time. Yep. That's a 1st down and will stop the clock. And don't forget about the timeouts. K-State still has 2.
And don't forget, Colin Klein.
Kansas State. That's their 2nd team timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
One of the few breakdowns for Iowa State because they did not account for the back in the flat. Blown assignment.
Well, it is. I mean, Hubert's just going to slip out in a little flat route this time. And nobody picks him up. Nice vision by Colin Klein. And Hubert's going to try to score, but nobody has been better in the Big 12 at scoring rushing touchdowns than Colin Klein. Came in today with 25 rushing touchdowns. Ricky Williams, the great Heisman Trophy winner from Texas, has the record with 27.
That's in the Big 12.
In the Big 12, yes.
And then out of quarterbacks nationally, Ricky Dobbs set it 2 years ago. The Naval Academy's Ricky Dobbs with 27. 1st and goal from the 1. He's going himself. Is he in? No call yet. From the linesman on the near side. Yes, number 26 for Colin Klein, and K-State takes the lead.
He is special. He is special. What a drive by Colin Klein. And the Wildcats. Going to stick it right behind his right guard, Colton Freeze. And the center, BJ, you can see just get Zach Hansen. The Maulers all get in. Good push.
Yeah, he's in easily.
Yeah. Clyde Offner, the senior, sticks it right behind those guys. They score just as much as what the quarterback does.
Cantelli for the point after.
Now,
Iowa State used a timeout. Don't forget about the blocked extra point. Otherwise, Iowa State would have 14 on the board. But Raphael Guidry busted through on the 2nd score, a touchdown run by Woody. That came with 11 seconds left in the 1st quarter. And that's the reason. There's 13 up there for Iowa State. K-State now trying to go up by 4. Well, Bill Snyder in this his 20th season at Kansas State, his 3rd year back after a 3-year break. And now, well, a win today and a win in a bowl game, 11 is a sensational season for a team that nobody expected this kind of production from.
Well, you can't just argue with success. And the way that Bill Snyder does it, he's demanding, but what he demands wins football games.
They may be one of the most disciplined teams I've ever seen over the years.
Yeah.
Now, Cantelli, the point after. And a 4-point lead on Seniors Day for K-State as the Wildcats have their first lead of the contest. And it comes with 20 seconds left in the half. So it was all orchestrated by Klein. A couple of nice runs. Had the tight end on that pass and a good grab at that by Tannehill. As the key plays to set it all up after starting back at his own 38.
He's a dual threat, Joel. I mean, he can beat you in a lot of different ways, and he gives you tremendous leadership at the same time. I mean, you're going to see just sticking it with the toughness up the middle, making the right read. I mean, he is one of the best runners in the Big 12. You can see him just patient, getting behind his offensive line. The big throw down the field to Thompson, 68-yard touchdown throw. The first touchdown of the day, and this is their second touchdown. Just a tough 1-yard run right up the middle of the goal line. People trying to rip the ball out of his hands, but he is strong and tough, and you're not going to get the ball out of his hands.
Well, K-State has 230 yards of total offense, 137 passing for Klein. You see there's 63, and on the year, he has accounted for 69% of their total yards from scrimmage.
That's amazing. That's an amazing stat.
Horn across the 35 to the 37. 16 seconds left in the half, and a timeout on the board for Iowa State as he's put down quickly by Randall Evans.
It's been a great first half, Joel. Really has. I thought, you know, neither team has really been hurt by the conditions. The fact that they started the game an hour and a half late, the wet ball, the mist that has been falling, the temperature. We're seeing two really motivated teams. Iowa State would love to get that 7th win. Bill Snyder would love to get that 10th win and maybe a share of the Big 12 title. An awful lot to play for and some good football being played.
Well, a snap will be taken, and that'll do it. And as you mentioned, a real even and entertaining first 30 minutes of play. So two old rivals head to the locker room in a 4-point ball game. The Wildcats, very impressive, especially at home when they're on top at the break. Let's head over to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joe. Walking with Coach Snyder, heading to the locker room. Coach, you got to be pleased. You got a little momentum here late in the first half on how Colin Klein got in the end zone.
Well, I mean, we haven't played like I would like for us to play. We've had some trouble in getting ourselves able to run the football as we would like to run. It took us a long time. We had like 6 yards in the first quarter of the ball game. So, you know, maybe we're starting to make the turn. That I don't know. We got some problems in the kicking game. Our kickoffs have hurt us. Defensively, we've just been in a hole. Field position has been a big problem for us throughout the course of the game.
I appreciate the time. Thank you, Coach. Joel.
Assessing the overall situation, and he's dead on because they did have a very slow start on the ground over the first 15 minutes of play. Well, coming up next, it'll be our Sprint halftime show. Big 12 plays of the year. We'll look back at K-State's unbelievable quadruple game, quadruple overtime with Texas A&M. Preview of tonight's Big Ten championship game as well, all on the Sprint halftime show. Good start, though, from Paul Rhodes. Bill Snyder, second quarter, a good one, in a close one. Regular season Saturday of Big 12 play, and welcome back to Manhattan, Kansas. Joel Myers, Brian Baldinger, Jim Knox. It started out with a lot of rain and a 90-minute delay, but they've more than made up for it as you look at the first half numbers with a real solid first 30 minutes.
But no turnovers, Joel. And if you look at Colin Klein, he has 200 yards of offense. Came in with taking 69% of the offense throughout the year, but he has really kind of took over the game. And I like the way Bill Snyder kind of broke the game down with Jim Knox going in at halftime. And they got the running game going, but here's the comparison. Klein with some big plays there in the second quarter to get his stats up, and Jared Barnett with the one touchdown throw to Darks. So both of them doing a good job of running their offense.
So all he's done is 200 of their 230 yards. Yes. He's been a part of.
Wow,
Let's head down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, Joel, just got through talking to Paul Rhodes, Iowa State head coach. He said in order to win this thing, they got to sustain drives. They also have to do a better job on tackling. Don't give them that extra yard. Wrap up, get them to the ground. Should be an excellent second half here. He thought Iowa State won the first half because they were more physical. He thought K-State won the second quarter because they were more physical. We'll see who's more physical here in the second half. The team's more than physical will win the football game. We'll see.
All right, Noxie, thank you. It'll be K-State getting the football. And K-State coming back out of the locker room on Seniors Day.
Seniors let them out of the locker room. Senior defensive tackle, Raphael Guidry. Look at that. Look at that formation. That's all about team. Locked arms. Colin Klein, the leader of that team. I just like the way they do everything as a team, coming onto the field and taking the field.
It'll be picked up inside the 5 at the 3 by Thompson. Return goes over to the left side. And a good return. So Thompson out across the 35 will be bumped out of bounds at about the 36. And our Jack-in-the-Box drive chart. Possessions for the Wildcats in the first half.
Well, they really couldn't sustain any offense to start. They had the big play to Tremaine Thompson that answered the score by Iowa State, but then they started moving the ball, and I thought Klein really started making his reads a lot better in the read option, finding the holes a little bit more, and I thought that was the difference there. As but Emmanuel Lamore, the senior, leading them with 8 tackles.
Hubert will get it on the first carry of the second half. And he is shut down by Washington, the safety, coming up from the outside immediately, maybe a half yard at the most. What usually comes into play with the Bill Snyder team, the Wildcats have non-offensive touchdowns. Now, they've got the ball right now, but through the course of 60 minutes of play, there's only one team that has more. If you look back over the last 20 years in college football, and that is Frank Beamer's Virginia Tech Hokies. So
defensive touchdowns, special teams touchdowns, finding different ways to get the ball into the end zone.
The numbers you saw since '99, but just further illustrates they make plays. Special teams, defense, Colin Klein weaving his way, and it was trapped. And that's good pursuit, lateral pursuit down the line by Iowa State.
You know, last week Colin Klein ran the ball 26 times against Texas. He gained 4 yards, and a lot of times he wasn't making good reads. I mean, he was just so beat up 2 weeks ago, and they had the bye week last week, and Bill Snyder really didn't know how the team was going to respond with such a late season bye week. I think they were a little slow to get started, but I think as this game goes on, I think they'll be a little sharper.
Well, they only had 121 yards as a team offensively last 2 weeks ago in that win. That was their lowest since '96. So their defense won that game. Now Klein in trouble and scrambling out of bounds as he's tripped up across the 35. Latimer chased him down. He was pushed out of the pocket by big Jake McDonough.
That's a good job by that defensive front of Iowa State. And you know, Noxie said that Paul Rhodes said they got to play more physical, and that's what happened. They stopped them on the run the first 2 plays by being more physical at the line of scrimmage. They got after Colin Klein on 3rd down with just their front 4, and that's what you love to see, that front winning at the line of scrimmage. Ryan Dorr sends out a beauty. It'll be Horn calling for the fair catch. Concentration was there at about the 20. Now the drive chart, our Jack-in-the-Box possessions for Iowa State. Well, they had big chunk plays, you know. They had the big touchdown catch by Darius Darks of 30 years off a little deception. They had the big run by Duran Hollis, his first carry of the day, changed field position. And there's their leaders. I mean, Woody, good tough first half for the backup running back, and Jake Knott, no, probably not as active as he'd like to be. Jared Barnett at quarterback. He was 7 of 12 for 81 yards in the first half. White gets the first carry and pushed around and dropped right at the original line. Garrett coming up the corner on that side. See, now Garrett's one of the 22 seniors for Kansas State, and you just know, you go into the locker room at halftime, you take the lead late, you come out and like, we have to set the tempo. We're going to win our final game at home. We're not losing this game. That's the type of play you get from a senior defensive back. It'll be 2nd and 10. A little more than 2 minutes gone in the 3rd. White up the middle for 5. Adam Davis dragged him down with a defensive end out of Folkston, Georgia. So this is similar to what we saw early in the game. White's limping. Well, it was the shoulder that was dinged up. Yeah, he's looking at against Oklahoma, but it's the lower half of his body this time. Lower left leg. Empty backfield.
And let's see if Barnett tries to make a play of his own as they spread it out. Need 5 for the first down. Shallow cross is there, and a first down is there as well. Darius Reynolds, big yardage across the 40. He's out to the 43.
Take a look at Arthur Brown in the circle and what he does. I mean, he's going to get contacted right there. Bam. He takes on Albert Gary, and it opened up things underneath for Darius Reynolds. And I think if I'm right, that might be the first catch for Reynolds today.
It's not a pick play, though.
No, it's a rub. It's a rub, Joel. There's nothing illegal.
Right, okay. From the 43, Woody's in the backfield.
Comes a corner blitz.
Malone showed him. And he's coming.
Comes.
Yep. And they're going right back at it. It's in the air. And it's loose. Will it be grabbed? And was it a pick? Guidry diving. Did the big guy get it? They'll look at it a few times.
But Guidry
right through the hands, though, of Darius Reynolds.
Well, Guidry's the senior. He already blocked an extra point today. Did he come down with the first turnover of the afternoon?
And did it get to the ground first? The County Climb wants to go in a hurry before there's a review.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's why.
That's why. And that's why we've got review.
The ruling on the field is an interception. The play is under further video review.
From the first look, was it a trap? Because it looked like it was close to a trap.
Well, it all got set up by a blitz of Malone. You can see that ball looks like it hits the turf. I mean, Guidry does a great job of kind of covering it up and looking like he got his hands underneath it, but that ball looks like it bounced right into his chest. Of course, the chest is so big, it kind of covers up the football. So,
but is it indisputable?
Well,
see, that's the key.
We have 3 good looks of it right now, and I think it is indisputable evidence that that ball was trapped, not caught cleanly. Interception will go back.
One more look. You be the judge this time.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like he's got his hands underneath there, Joel, and the ball hits the ground. I think it's going to get overturned. All set up by a corner cat blitz from Nigel Malone that really forced that ball to be popped up in the air.
Looks like a very patient man, Randy Crystal, the referee, doesn't he?
Well, it's out of his hands. You know, he's just waiting for the call one way or the other, which is, you know, obviously the big difference between the college and the NFL rules, where, you know, they've got the upstairs replay official making the call for the referee.
Just looks like he has the demeanor that nothing will bother him.
Yeah.
Now the call from upstairs.
After further video review, the play stands as called.
There was no indisputable evidence, and that was what I was alluding to, because could you tell? So it is an interception by Guidry on Seniors Day.
Now the first turnover of the day. Came in today. Turnover margin was +11, second in the Big 12 to Oklahoma State.
That's second, or make it 7th best in the nation. They don't beat themselves.
25th takeaway of the year.
Human slugs it inside the 45, down to the 43. Got a feeling there's not going to be real pretty plays in the second half. We saw some passes go up top, but in a game, cold weather, moisture in the air, they may get a little tighter now.
Well, let me say this. You may not think they're pretty plays, but I think we're going to hear the hits up here.
Well, I'm talking about razzle-dazzle gadgets. So they have it in Iowa State territory to start a drive for the first time today. After the gain of 4. It's Klein. I said to you while we were away at halftime, he's kind of like Slinky. Try to get a clean shot on him. It's tough.
Yep. Well, he's skilled. He's skilled at, you know, basically pairing the punch, just like a boxer in a ring. Doesn't take a full blow. It doesn't seem like he gets anybody, even Jake Knott, who leads this team in tackles, can get a clean shot on him. Even at 6'5", you think they take those rib shots and the shots to the body, but he sort of averts them, most of them.
3rd and 2. Little delay. Hubert, he took the tackle with him. Taufo thought he had him, the inside backer, and he just dragged him for about 2 or 3 more yards. First down by Hubert, down to the 34. And Hubert's not a big guy at 5'7", 185, a sophomore from Waco.
He seems to run with some power, though. He's got strong legs. One guy doesn't bring him down. It seems like he goes forward quite a bit at the end of the play. A lot of small backs can get knocked backwards, but not Hubert.
Red Smith in motion, trips up top now. Now will they go back that way? Ton of time for Colin Klein. And out of bounds. Dangerous Leonard Johnson there. Well, there's an upset already recorded today. The Houston Cougars up against Southern Mississippi. They lose, and they lose decisively, 49-28. So remember, you see the top 10. Kansas State is number 11 in the BCS poll. So with a win today, top 10.
Yeah, and that Conference USA, that's a shock. Southern Miss winning that game. Case Keenum, what a season he had.
From the 34. 2nd and 10. And it's going to be a timeout.
You saw the play clock running down.
Little confusion trying to get it done at the line. Come over to the sideline now. Key possession early in the second half for Colin Klein and K-State. In Manhattan, Kansas. Temperature right around 40 degrees, so you know it feels about 30 down in the field. Colin Klein on 2nd and 10. Had to use a timeout. Now straight 4-man rush. Man, wide of Thompson. Almost like it was an afterthought. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. Trying to get points. Don't forget, off a turnover, because this was all set up by the deflection and the interception by Raphael Guidry. So they started the drive in plus territory for the first time today at the Iowa State 47. Now it's 3rd and 10 to the 34.
There's Colin Klein. Colin Klein's brother, a freshman, who they say is a better athlete than his brother, taking a snap from center right now.
3rd and 10, press coverage on the outside, and Klein running for it, won't get there. Dragged down. And an outstanding play by Rumpelhammer.
All day long, it's been excellent coverage in the secondary by Iowa State. You see, really just man-to-man situation. Really good fundamentals and good skills. You've seen Reeves make a bunch of good plays today. Klein didn't like it, doesn't want to throw any interceptions or force the ball. Feel good with their kicking game, picked up an extra 5 yards and put him in good position to kick this field goal.
Now Cantelli's got a 36-yarder. This is going to be a 46, make it a 47-yard attempt. And does he get it inside the upright? Yes. Points off the turnover. And a 7-point lead for K-State. Close ones, they're used to it. K-State, in fact, all 9 of their wins this year have come by 7 points or less. And early in the second half, the Wildcats lead it 20-13. They've got the last 14 points of this game. It's picked up by Horn. And Horn has a nice alley up the middle, making a miss across the 35. Out close to the 36. Jim Knox, what's going on downstairs?
All right, Joel, over here on the Iowa State bench, it looked like James White, number 8, will be back on the playing field. He's okay. Take a look on what happened the last offensive series. Running with the football, he went down hard, but took a shot in his left shin. Now he came to the sidelines. What they did is they put a thin plastic device around his left shin and taped it up very heavily. Still in a little pain, but still has a protective device on that left shin, so he's back in, guys.
All right, thank you. Hollis will get the first snap with Barnett this time. And Barnett in trouble and on his way down. Boy, shooting the gap. Meshach Williams completely all over the quarterback. He couldn't respond. The junior from Sylvester, Georgia.
Well, I like Meshach Williams. Here he is standing up on the outside. And he is a guy that changes the way you rush the passer. Comes in up the middle there. And very nice play. He leads this team with 6 sacks. That's a 7th. The guy that doesn't start, he's a playmaker.
Huge loss. 9 on the setback on the sack. Now Barnett. Only his 5th career start. Calling his own number. Gets a block up the middle. Arthur Brown chops him down at about the 35. And Arthur Brown, and you talked about while we were away, they've been so good on special teams for so long with Bill Snyder because Arthur Brown's out there and other starters like Trey Walker.
Well, both starting linebackers cover the kicks for him. So they're going to put their best tacklers on special teams, and that's why they consistently win the special teams battle week in, week out, year in, year out. We are halfway through the third, but a key third down for Iowa State, trailing by 7. There goes Williams again. Now Barnett moving out of the pocket, and right at the marker, extra effort gets it. Darius Reynolds. He caught it at the 45-46. And once he spun out of the initial pop, he got the first down to the 48. What's the matchup here, though, of Kelechi Osemele on the outside with Meshach Williams? Does a good job of burying him inside, allowing Barnett to get outside and throw that pass. Garrett got Duran Hollis from behind. Did a good job not to cough it up because he didn't see the shot coming. And here's the hurry up by Barnett. Yep, tempo. Hollis again. Man, I don't know about the read. And it's an inexperienced potential because, boy, they crashed. I thought he rushed him. Yep, and Barnett had the whole right side available. You know, so many. Well, look now. Hollis is getting up. He can't make it to the sideline. It'll be a 3rd and 2 when they put it back into play, but you could tell the pain. Both running backs there for Iowa State in back-to-back series. We saw Woody extensively in the first 15 minutes of play, and they were very efficient. Running the big man, almost like a fullback at 6', 235, Jeff Woody. He has not seen a lot of snaps lately. 7 carries, almost a 6-yard average for Woody. But a look back on what developed. Putting Hollis down. Let's take a look at Duran Hollis. Wow. Got lifted right off the ground by Jordan Volker and driven into the ground. Yeah, he knows he's hurt. He's calling for the help right away. And Volker is a senior. You know, these guys, they're down to their final 30 minutes here in the second half of football at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. It's good to see Hollis go off under his own power. Gingerly. Amazing how quickly some of these young kids can respond and recover and get back out there. So now 3rd and 2, a little less than 2. Woody joining Barnett in the backfield. Man, it's going to be Woody. Just powers his way inside the 40 down to the 39. So the tough between tackles need those yards. Well, he runs with such a lean, a good forward lean. You could just see him carrying bodies with him. You get to 3rd and short, you got to put the ball in his hands. I kind of like the way Iowa State started this series, though, going hurry up, really speeding up the tempo. Caught Kansas State, I thought, a couple of times a little slow to get set. Drive started at the Cyclone 36. Now a first down at the 39. Fake the jet. Barnett with the spin. And a good job outside of the tackle box. Just threw it away. Linesman's coming over, but I thought he was outside of the tackle box. Well, that's another corner blitz that time by Malone. What they saw was once the motion had Jarvis West go across, he was free. And once West went across in motion, Malone came with the blitz. That's the 2nd time he's done it today, and they've gotten good results. 7 interceptions overall for Nigel Malone. Woody looking for a crease, never opened up.
So a good decision of the previous snap by Barnett. We talk about the inexperience, some of the reads, but that was a great decision to throw the ball away. But the 3rd and long. Can they at least get some to get into field goal position?
Well, he's got great feet. You know, Barnett can keep a play alive, but the one guy that they've got to find is Darius Reynolds. I think he's the one guy that can win. He's down at the bottom right now. Look for him on a shallow cross.
It's 3rd and almost 9. Pocket holds up underneath. It's available. Man, it's down to the 25 for a first down for Gary, who's been the hot receiver over the last 3+ games.
He's got good quickness. Got good quickness coming across the middle, and Barnett is spot on this throw. Impervious to the pressure on the 3rd down.
Going tempo. It's Gary again.
Wow.
And what a move. Little jump cut as he shifted to the outside. Got about 8. So
right.
They caught Kansas State before they're even set.
And the key to this hurry-up offense like this is execution. Can you keep picking up big chunk yardage like they did to Gary for 8 yards?
They get the offensive lineman off. And just in time as Woody charges his way inside the 15. He's got a first down to the 13-yard line. Dropped there by Childs and Lemur.
Well, so many teams in this Big 12 play this hurry-up, up-tempo offense. Iowa State right now using it to their advantage.
It's Woody again. Wow. And Woody breaks a tackle. He's gone. Touchdown, Iowa State.
That's the way to change momentum.
Well, they got him back into the game.
Yep.
And he was a factor and a force in the first 15 minutes of play.
Well, you can't argue with, you know, the way that James White and Hollis have run, but there's no question today that Woody has been a factor. And it's really the yards after contact that he's really started to gain. That last one, no more evidence.
13-yard touchdown run. As Geyer, he's on the field for the equalizer. Snap is a good one. Bam. It is all even in Manhattan, Kansas. So the 11th ranked Wildcats getting everything they want from the Cyclones of Iowa State with 4:25 to play in the 3rd.
Up and down the sideline. He's loving it.
So the perfect fit. A guy that grew up just a few minutes away from Jack Trice Stadium at Iowa State.
Well, he told his kids when he got there, we're going to a bowl game and we're going to win. You know, in 3 straight years now. Bowl game his first year, bounced back. Chance to get to 7 wins here this year, and none bigger than the one 2 weeks ago.
They feed off his emotion. There's no doubt about that. Harper's back along with Thompson. Zach Geyer will get into it. And down the middle, it'll be Thompson from the 6. Again, a nice return, but just tripped up. Going out across the 25. Chase Hawley, sensational play. Now, we talked about the Oklahoma State game earlier at Jack Trice. And what a night it was for Iowa State. They've had some upsets already this year. None bigger than taking care of the number 2 team in the nation at the time as they won it in double overtime. And you saw Woody in the middle of things again there.
Well, Barnett threw for 376 yards that night. Paul Rhodes' defense took the ball away 3 times from the Cowboys offense and really shocked college football that night 2 weeks ago.
Now Klein on a design roll on his way down, and will it be a horse collar? Yep. That was tough for the linebacker, Tao Foley. And it's called by Randy Crystal, the referee.
He can't believe it.
Personal foul, horse collar. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So really it was Talafo who just reached out and grabbed Colin Klein with one hand, but he caught. You know what that? Well,
that's pretty tough.
It's pretty close. He did not get the hand inside.
No.
He didn't get it inside the shoulder pad is what they're trying to prevent.
He looked like he got him on the pad outside.
I think he grabbed the shirt, to be honest with you, and jerked him down, which would not be a horse collar.
That is not subject to review. Inside of 4 to play with the clock moving. And let's see how big a play that is. Klein calling his own number. Yeah. They read it perfectly. He is dropped by Neal. There were a number there, and that's the gang tackling we've seen from Iowa State, and they've been better. We talked about the resurgence over the last 4 games. The previous 7 games, they'd given up 222 yards on the ground. The last 4, it's down to 146 a contest, so that is significant.
Well, Colin Klein does it all, though. I mean, runs the offense, changes the plays. Mentally, he's into the game. Physically, he takes a pounding. He looks indefatigable. It doesn't look like he gets tired at all.
It's his call again, and he only gets about 3 yards. That takes them as a group, though, this late in the third to 113 yards rushing. And they feed off that because this is not a passing attack. As Jake Knott, he's in on the hit.
He is tough, man. I tell you what, I'm impressed watching him because Jake Knott's put a bunch of hits on him. Those hits in the middle, he's getting tattooed by 3-4 guys at a time. And lining up on a key third down, look for him to kind of scramble and extend any kind of a play here.
It'll be 3rd and 7, shy of the 44. May have come up, yeah, well, or was it the right tackle? Jake Knott deflects it away. It was there. Sheldon Smith was the target. How about the timing of Jake Knott stretching out?
They're going to get another play here.
Defense number 48. Be a 5-yard penalty.
That's Latimer, and you'll see the tackle Offner come up as well. Almost simultaneous, it seemed.
Well, here's Latimer. He's going to get just an early start. He's in the neutral zone. It's a good call. It's a free play.
So now 3rd
There's Jake
2.
Knott. There he is in the passing lane. Spends a lot of hours in the film room. Just studying tendencies.
Yeah, Paul Rhodes told us he watches as much film as anybody on that team. 3rd and a couple. It's Colin Klein. Ooh. Takes it, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And he still gets it. I mean, the shock absorbers on this young man.
Yes.
As he takes the jolt and still gets the extra yard down to the 48, brought by A.J. Klein. So there's Klein and Knott, and they combine for the most of the Big 12.
Well, and they're both, you know, the good news is they'll all be back next year as Iowa State continues to build this program. But when you bring that type of production back on defense, you bring a toughness to it. There's not lining up out there in the seam, trying to take away the seam route and then play himself back into the middle for the runs.
They've got a good thing going at Iowa State. Now on the throw, it may have been tipped at the line. I believe it was going for Chris Harper. Yeah, and was it Patrick Neal who got up there? Not a tall guy, but well timed.
Boy, they've done a great job. That Neal getting the tip on it. Yeah, it looked like it changed the flight of that ball, and they have done a great job of defending Chris Harper.
So now 2nd and 10. Zone read. Colin Klein makes a miss, breaks tackles. He's got 9 of the 10 he needed. Boy, what a spin. This is a 6'5" guy. He's not 6 feet. He's not low to the ground.
But he's always going forward. And Jake Knott has a chance to really bring him down in this play. Right in the hole. Just makes a miss. Yeah, just overruns the play.
3rd and less than a yard. Boy, this has been a tough drive. It started back at the K-State 26. A couple of penalties have helped it out. Hubert angles left, breaks the tackle. He'll get big yardage this time as he's driven out by Benton. So John Hubert, speaking of guys low to the ground at 5'7", 185, he broke all of LaDainian Tomlinson's records in high school football to the Waco area.
Yeah, Waco, Texas product, and you're going to see the middle linebacker, Ta'afo'o, jump over the pile, right? And then Hubert ran right through the tackle. I mean, great effort by Ta'afo'o. But then a counter great effort by the product from Waco, Hubert.
1st and 10 of the 24. Big hole right side. Hubert to the 5. Takes the shot, but he's got a 1st and goal at the 3. The block was applied by the fullback up front. Braden Wilson helped out in a big way.
Braden Wilson is a huge fullback. 255, 260 pounds. He's going to be the lead blocker Boom, that nice hit right on the middle linebacker. That's what freed Hubert up.
It'll be 1st and goal, trying to regain the lead in the final minute of the third. What a ball game.
Well, Colin Klein rushed for his 27th touchdown this season.
He's trying for it. And they shoot him down to the 2. He's got 26. He's got one earlier, and if you joined us late, he's trying to tie the Big 12 record of 27 held by Ricky Williams, the former Texas Longhorn running back. The college football record by quarterbacks for rushing touchdowns. Ricky Dobbs, Naval Academy 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that's 27.
Not a lot of disguise on that play. Just take the snap and run it right up the butt of your center.
Right, center guard. You better carry me.
Yeah.
What a third quarter, though. So you can see how much Paul Rhodes appreciated the work, and especially of his defensive unit, because it's been a short field after points off a takeaway. It's all even momentarily through 3 as you're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday. By Darks on the jump ball.
You know, you get a chance to practice that, you know, maybe 2-3 times a week, and when you call it game day, you love to be able to get it and score. Woody gets one of the scores for Iowa State. Colin Klein scoring his 26th touchdown, running it this year. Woody just barreling over his own offensive tackle to get in the end zone to tie it up.
So the first snap of the final 15 minutes of regulation. Colin Klein with the call. Is it his call? Didn't work. He wanted it again inside of the 2. It's going to be 3rd and goal. O'Neal stuffed the play underneath. So those of you that are expecting to see Texas UCLA basketball in Southern California, we had a 90-minute delay for our kick because of severe weather conditions. Lightning strikes here in Manhattan, Kansas. Joel Myers, Brian Baldinger alongside Jim Knox. You will get to that game, but this is a good one right now. Now 3rd and goal. And Klein slips. It's been slick all day. Klein's down to the 2 where there's going to be 4th and goal. Now, does Bill Snyder gamble? No. Can't tell he's coming on the field.
But listen to this, Joe. I mean, this is 3 straight Colin Klein runs from the 3-yard line. And they didn't gain an inch. Now, he slipped on the turf. There's no question about it. But inside, the interior, McDonough, Woods, Rumpelhofer, all those guys up front did a great job of stopping Klein from getting in the end zone.
Cantelli 2 for 2 with a 47-yarder, as well as a 36-yarder. This is a chip shot. Going to be a 19-yard attempt. Man, the lead once again for the seniors of the Wildcats on their home field. So a 3-point ball game, just about 90 seconds into the 4th. K-State regains the advantage now, 23-20. Of course, was lost for the year, but put together a spectacular start before he went down. And don't forget, that's the matchup tonight. Bedlam Series. Oklahoma State, and of course Kansas State. They want to share the title, so they are pulling big time, more than they have ever pulled with the Oklahoma Sooners, maybe in school history.
And that's not easy to do. To turn in that kind of loyalty, but it's necessary. These fans have braved some lousy weather, some lightning that struck earlier that delayed this game, and the spirit is here.
It'll be brought back by Aaron Horn from the 3-yard line. Looking for a lane. It never developed. So good coverage by Kansas State, and Ty Zimmerman making the stop on special teams.
Well, this is only a 3-point lead right now because of a great goal line stand by Iowa State. 3 straight shots from the 3-yard line. Colin Klein, I don't think he gained a foot on 3 straight runs. Slipped on the last one, but an excellent job. Well, who else would we expect to be leading the charge from the sideline but Paul Rhodes?
So opportunities in the red zone. Getting away from K-State, and don't forget up the short field right before that. It'll be Woody. Big guy goes low to about the 28, close to 5 on the carry. Now, is K-State going to pay? After the short field with the interception of Guidry, they started at the Iowa State 47, had to settle for a Cantelli 47-yard field goal. So the last 2 possessions, they had to settle for 6 instead of coming up with 14. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. A lot of time left. And out of the wing, it's the running back White. And he's got it across the 30, out to the 31, shy of the first down by 2 as we check in with Jim Knox.
Well, what an outstanding job this defensive line did on that last series, holding Colin Klein out of the end zone. Paul Rhodes came over there and told them, hey guys, you keep them inside, continue to keep them inside. They did a good job keeping them inside, bottlenecked them in there.
All right, Knoxy, they did an exceptional job.
Look at that.
How close is this game? Well, 3 points on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You see in total yards. Now, need 2. Woody. And it'll depend upon the spot. He's right at the marker. Who do they hand the ball to? Near side linesman had a better spot.
I don't think they're going to give it to him.
He needed to get to the just maybe inches shy of the 33. He's brought down by Trey Walker. Now he's short.
I don't think they're even going to. Well,
they're bringing him in.
They will measure it.
But it looks like he's about a foot short, if that much.
You got to punt it, though. You
too early in the game.
Yeah, too much time left in the fourth quarter. Got to go play field position.
All 3 timeouts remain for Iowa State. Kansas State had to use one offensively 2 possessions ago when they took the ball away on the pick. Yeah. And they're going to be short, but
it's tempting. It's really tempting to go for it. I don't. You know, maybe Paul Rhodes thinks, you know what, we've got nothing to lose. We're on the road. We weren't supposed to be in this position. Maybe he gives it to some of those seniors up front. You know, Hayworth Hicks, the big talented right guard. You know, maybe you cure quarterback sneak right behind him, or Kelechi assembling.
But they're showing that they're going to go for it, whether they do or not.
True. They can wait it out.
And try to get him offside.
I wouldn't go out of the shotgun with it, though, if I was going to go for it.
And will it be a timeout called? Yes, Kansas State is used to second here in the second half. We will do the same just about 3 minutes into the fourth. It's a tight one in Manhattan. The running back, but built like a fullback.
Well, he's the big bruiser. And that's what you want from that type of guy. Everybody needs a back that's 240 that can push the pile. What a nice luxury to have in a situation like that.
So 3 minutes into the fourth, trailing by 3. It'll be Woody. And it was almost a wrestling match. Arthur Brown came through, made the solo stop. But it was almost a wrestling match. Who's going to take the ball?
Yeah. But Arthur Brown didn't matter. He was going to tackle the mesh. Anybody that had the ball, he was on a blitz coming right forward. Just a good nose for the ball. Look at that. Avoids the center block. Right there on top of the back. What you expect from the captain and the leader of your defense.
Loss of about 3. Little pop out to the tight end. Man, chopped down was Hammerschmidt immediately. Nice open field play. Ty Zimmerman on the stop.
The linebackers are playing so close to the line of scrimmage. You know, whether it is Brown or Lamore or Walker, they were hugging the line of scrimmage. The pass is the only thing that's going to loosen them up.
It'll be 3rd and 8.
They got some crowd support on this one.
So trying to make as much noise as possible. Spread the field. Barnett thought about running it, brings it back, and incomplete. He's lucky it wasn't picked off. It was tipped by Brown to begin with, and then Hartman had a shot at it as well.
They just squeezed him to the sideline, Joel. I mean, it's a great defensive effort all the way around. Great series by K-State. You're going to get Barnett out on the perimeter. Look, that was an ill-advised throw. Look at Arthur Brown get his hand on that one.
And then it's a free after it's tipped.
Yep.
Anybody.
Well,
you don't have to worry about pass interference anymore.
No, and that's where Kansas State really flourishes. But they also flourish in this part of it, too. One of their fastest players back there returned this punt, Tremaine Thompson.
They need a big punt from Vanderkamp. They're faking it over to the left side. Can he get outside?
He needs help.
He needs 8. And he breaks the tackle for a first down. What a play by Kirby Vanderkamp. And what a gamble by Rhodes with so much time on the clock.
What a great call, and it was really the patience that Vanderkamp ran with. Because if he had rushed it, he wouldn't have made it. He was on the outside looking to pick up some blocks. Unbelievable call. Now you get 2-on-2 on the outside. You get some good blocks.
Garrett thinks he has him.
Yeah. Oh, Garrett, the senior, missed a tackle in the open field.
Paul Rhodes, he's not emotionally charged at all.
Oh,
First and 10 for the 45. Boy, final game of the year, regular season for these two teams. Woody. Not much available. He squeezed the most out of that. 3 yards up to the 48.
Now think about it, Joel. Think about the guts it takes to make that call, the fake, you know, in the middle of the field. And what it does is you buy a second possession, an extra possession, and you keep it away from Kansas State. And the fact that they just got off the field, thought they were forcing a punt, and to get to keep the ball, that is an emotional lift for Iowa State.
Well, Barnett making the call to the line after the signal from the sideline. Quick out. Wow, what a grab behind him by Darius Reynolds. That was on him as he turned around and behind him. He pulled it off with Nigel Malone right next to him.
Wow, this had some hot mustard on it. I'm to the back shoulder. Reynolds a great job of knowing where the sticks are, getting both hands on it.
Catches the back end of the ball.
Yeah, he does.
Man,
a great catch, but really Barnett really fired that one.
First and 10 at the K-State 45. Starting back at Iowa State's 23.
This kid has a lot of poise to him, though. I like the way he plays the game.
He's got 2 to each side. Woody on a play fake. And he wanted to scramble. He runs out of racing and puts it on the ground, but it looked like Hicks was on top of it. He was. The senior from Palmdale, California, Hayworth Hicks. Right spot, right time for the Cyclones. But it seems like it's going that way on this drive.
Yeah. Just said that he plays the game with a lot of poise, then he lays the ball on the ground. But
that had to happen department.
Well, he's just trying to fight for the extra. You see that a lot. Guys fighting for the extra yards. The ball gets away from them. And that's what happens when linemen get to the ball and follow the ball. They can pick up a loose ball. The first one loose all day, and the senior right guard falls on it.
White's back in the game on the jet. A little play fake. Barnett tracked down Arthur Brown all over it. One of the very best in the Big 12. Arthur Brown coming up big.
Well, you live for these kind of days. You live for these kind of moments, and Arthur Brown a number of big plays in the fourth quarter.
Unfortunately, an injured Wildcat down, so they stopped the clock. But Arthur Brown, a sideline to sideline guy, great reader. So he saw this develop. Watch him on the outside.
Yeah.
First, the jet tries to take him away.
Oh, that was great discipline.
Yep. He
Not
doesn't bite, did he?
No, he doesn't bite at all. And right there at the end. But you don't lead the team in tackles the way he does without being disciplined. And square, technically just sound. Oh, Guidry's had a great day.
Yes, blocked.
He had the interception, the blocked extra point. One of the 22 seniors for Kansas State. Really a valuable player and a leader.
He wants to get up. You can tell, and they're telling him, hold on. No hurry, no rush.
Looking at the left ankle.
Back to Arthur Brown, as you mentioned, and we spent time with him as we'll look back on the play.
And here he is.
He's engaged.
Fighting off the block and foot. I can't look at that. Yeah, planted in the ground.
That's the only time we need to see that.
And that was Hicks on top of him. He's got the ankles taped. You know, I mean, they took all the precautions. You can see the ankles are spatted, the shoes are spatted. The last thing you want, though, senior year, final game, to be limping off the field like that. Just hope he's not hurt bad, and it's going to be a short recovery time.
So Guidry, senior from Texas City, Texas. But back to the gadget play, and we've seen a few. First touchdown. It was a flea flicker. Now, Speaking of gadgets, the fake punt.
Well, Kirby Vanderkamp does a great job. Kansas State, they went to cover that punt. Now he's patient. Garrett's trying to get that tackle on him in the open field. He was patient, knew where the sticks were, and really kept that play alive. And here they are, third down again.
Can they keep the drive alive? Because this is third and long for the young man making only his 5th career start. Jared Barnett. Horn in motion, and a flag, a free snap, offside. Kansas State. Barnett finally takes it upon himself and got the block from Horn downfield for an extra 5 or 6. To the 29 he goes. They can forget about the offside.
He saw the opening right away, though. He dropped back, wanted to throw it, but he saw that the defense just kind of split.
Offside defense, number 42. The penalties declined. The result of the play, first down.
You and I watched film yesterday of Barnett, and he made plays. But today he's been a little bit tentative at times, taking it upon himself.
Yeah, but, you know, he has this freedom, and this is why he's in there. He's a playmaker. He saw it, and what a third down conversion that one was.
That was third, more than 12, almost 13. Inside of 8 to play.
Look at the number of big plays in this drive by the Cyclones.
This one has taken so much time, though. You have to maximize points out of this possession. Still all 3 timeouts on the board. It's Woody. He's trying to find something. And made the most of it again. Even when it looks like nothing's there, he gets 3 down to the 26. Brought down by Volker.
This is like so many games in the Big 12 this year, Joel. So many games into the 4th quarter, into overtime. Such balance. 8 teams going to a bowl game this year. A couple of Cyclone fans dressed in their coveted colors. They're holding their breath.
All 9 of K-State's wins have been decided by 7 points or less.
Wow.
So this is not a shot.
Nothing new, huh?
From the 26, it's 2nd and 7. Barnett waiting for the block. Man, Arthur Brown got there. He had some help on the play. Also, Latui underneath to kind of torpedo the situation on that side of the field.
Well, you know, this kid is from, Barnett is from Garland, Texas, just on the outside of Dallas. His father was a coach and been around the game a long time, and he makes good decisions with the football, and the game just gets bigger and bigger. Another third down, huge third down opportunity here for Barnett.
They've already taken 7 minutes on this drive. 3rd and about 6. Play clock down on Barnett. Gets it off with a second left on the play clock.
It's a blitz.
And he throws it away. Well, they're in field goal territory already to even things up. So will it be? They won't gamble, right? A field goal unit comes on. And they've made a switch this year. Zach Geyer has taken over, and he's done an efficient job. UCLA and Texas coming up next. College basketball from Southern California. Now it's going to be to tie things up. A 43-yard attempt. And the long this year for Zach Geyer, he's 8 of 11. 43 yards. So can he get him even? 6:17 to play. Exchange is a good one. On its way. Does he hook it? Yes. He drew it beautifully. Geyer comes through in the clutch. A senior from Urbandale, Iowa. Pressure on.
What a game. What a game.
God, I wish my ball looked that good off the tee.
Yeah. Well,
so it's all tied up at 23 with 6:12 left. And this is so fitting. The last Saturday of the regular season of the Big 12 this season. And it's going down to the wire.
Fans stuck around during a lightning delay of 90 minutes. It's been raining start to finish, and they've been rewarded by one of the best games of the year that I've seen in this Big 12, and very reminiscent of just how tight this conference has been from top to bottom.
Now, Grant Mahoney, who they use for long placements, long field goal tries, is going to kick it off. Thompson and Harper are back deep. And down the middle, Tremaine Thompson from his own 13. What kind of field positions are going to be? He's got Harper out in front. It'll be solid. He's done at about the 33, maybe the 34. But how about that time-consuming drive by Iowa State? They got the 3, but they gambled a couple of times to get there.
They get Woody on a 4th down, and they convert it there. And then they fake it on 4th down. And Vanderkamp, patient, behind his blockers, picks up over 10 yards and gets the 1st down on that throw. And then you get Reynolds diving for a 1st down. Then you get Barnett up the middle for 20-plus yards. Sets up this Geyer 43-yard tying field goal with 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Paul Rhodes likes what he sees.
Could be a different story, though, for Kansas State as they get the football back, because they had opportunities for touchdowns the last 2 times they had the football and had to settle for field goals. Now, boy, what a move by Hubert. Nifty running across the midfield stripe. Boy, great vision. Hubert behind the block of Freeze, the right guard, for big yardage on 1st down.
Well, the seniors up front, Colton Freeze and Clyde Offner, they open up the hole on that side. It's a little cutback. Look at that hole right behind Freeze, the right guard. Ooh, look at that finish hit by Leonard Johnson. We haven't called his name much today because they never throw towards Leonard Johnson.
So 1 snap after they get the ball back. Already K-State close to field goal territory, about 10, 15 yards away.
So, you know, Colin Klein looks over the sideline to see if he's going to change the play, and he doesn't. He leaves it on.
Going to be a deep play fake. He wanted the middle of the field. It's not available, and he's on his way down. It'll be a sack, a loss of about a yard. Back at the 45 in the arms of Jake Latimer. Senior from Fort Scott, Kansas. As the coaches say, plays hard every snap.
Now, what Colin Klein does is he looks to the sideline to get the play. He's in the huddle. He'll call the play to the troops. He'll then go up to the line of scrimmage, and he'll survey the defense. So will the coaches. Then he'll look over the sideline afterwards, after it's deployed, to see if he should change the play or not.
It'll be 2nd and 11, inside of 5 and counting.
There he is. Now he looks over, plays on, stays it, doesn't have to change it.
Pocket held up, 1st down as well. And the grab made for a 1st down. It is Terrell Miller, the sophomore from New Orleans, with his 1st grab of the game coming at an opportune time.
I like the size of these Kansas State receivers. This Terrell Miller, 6'2", about 210 pounds. First time they've thrown towards Leonard Johnson, number 23 for Iowa State, all day. And he makes a huge catch.
A little more than 4 minutes remaining. And already in field goal territory. Boy, deep single. Here's Hubert. He's going to get it. Man, he won't get out of the backfield. Big time play again as Ta'ofo gets to, and he's come up with some plays. Don't forget college hoops up next at the end of our contest. We could be here for a while with 4 minutes left. Only 1 time on the board, don't forget, for K-State, though. All 3 remaining for Iowa State.
Well, what Kansas State would love to do, this is the 4-minute drill right now. Under 4 minutes to go. They'd love to run as much time off the clock as they can, continue to gain real estate, and then get the winning score. Not give Iowa State any time with the ball.
2nd and a dozen. It will be Hubert. Boy, Hubert's off to the races. Inside the 10. Does he get there? Yes, touchdown, K-State.
And what a great read by Colin Klein that time on the read option. Really bringing the defense to him the whole time. He's really patient with this one. A good block on the outside by Thompson. Does not step out of bounds. Dives inside the pylon. And wow, what a drive by Kansas State.
So the sophomore from Waco, John Hubert, has put Kansas State back on top. And now Cantelli with the point after. It is a 7-point Kansas State lead. So plenty of time left for Paul Rhodes and the Cyclones, but it didn't take long for the Wildcats to respond.
In bounds, walked the tightrope. smell the goal line and get in there. Biggest run of the day by Hubert, set up on the read option by Colin Klein and strike up the band.
So John Hubert over the century mark on 15 carries.
A nice afternoon.
It's cold, believe me. Wind chill feels like it's about 30, 25 degrees. A lot of antifreeze in those young men. Now, he'll be taken. Back penalty in his horn. No momentum at all, and he's going to bring it out. After bobbling it a bit, can't get to the outside, and he's ripped down before he can get to the 20. It was Randall Evans again. Second time he's come out with big plays on special teams. The significance of this game, if Kansas State can prevail and Oklahoma wins, it'll be a share of the conference title. Now, the tiebreaker belongs to Oklahoma if they do win, because they will have beat both Kansas State and Oklahoma State. So they will get the BCS berth.
A lot on the line. And a lot. Bill Snyder, face mask. Sure. Never goes out of style.
Woody in the backfield from the 20. And Woody weaving his way for about 8.
He's been valuable today.
Well, when you have all 3 of your timeouts and 3+ in college play, because it stops after first downs, that's a lot of time. They need 2 for the first down, and Woody gives them a lot more. He's pushed back, but he got it up close to the 35. So in the 5th career start, Jared Barnett gets ready for the drive of his young life. Now, can they get 7 points? Woody again. Cut off on the outside. Coming up on the edge was Tyson Hartman. Going low. Latui helped out as he pushed him back in.
Yeah, what I like from Barnett, though, is just the decision making. Getting the ball from the sidelines, getting the guys lined up. You don't see this type of poise from redshirt freshmen real often in this kind of conference.
Cyclones trying to pick up a 7th win. Trying to force overtime right now. Middle is Woody. And Woody's going to make the most of it. Boy, I don't know if he got the spot. He's going to be just short, I believe.
Yep. But they've got 3 timeouts. There's plenty of time. There's no reason to panic.
Woody needs about a yard. Look at him and Arthur Brown. What a collision. And Arthur Brown puts the shoulder down. I mean, he's not headhunting.
No.
He wasn't helmet to helmet.
No, it's just clean hit. But good football play. But this Woody, I tell you, some kind of endurance here. He's getting all these touches.
Well, and since they went back to him, they have been more efficient. Now James White comes in, who's more the home run threat at 5'8", 185, the sophomore from Dallas. On first down, Barnett running up the middle, making a miss up the middle, and close to another first down. He's got it to the 43. Poised by Barnett. They wanted a holding call, and a lot of us saw what was going on as they pushed. Number 95 was in the backfield, the senior from Houston, Ray Kibble.
Boy, this has been a good start to a drive. Really good start by Iowa State.
It's their first time out of the second half. Well, we talked about what happened earlier this year. Yeah, we were there for it. It was Nebraska. 8 turnovers helped. They took it 8 times. They took it away from Nebraska. The first one in his first season. Then Texas. First time they won down there over Texas. Iowa triple overtime earlier this season on Fox. And then knocking off the number 2 team in the country, Oklahoma State, in double overtime.
I don't agree with this last time out, though. I thought they had Kansas State on their heels, and they were moving the ball. They got a chance to regroup, catch their breath.
It'll be 2nd and a yard. Man, quickly to Gary, who drops the football.
Good read. Good read that time by Garrett, who's had a good game this afternoon on the perimeter. Read that hit screen immediately, was right there.
Well, as you talk about that timeout, did he feel like he needed to regroup with his redshirt freshman in only his 5th career start?
I don't know. I mean, he looked like he was engineering everything just perfectly to that point.
Needs a yard with Woody in the backfield. On 3rd down. And Woody's got it with Brown on his back to the 39. 2 timeouts still up there. That'll stop the clock for the movement of the chains. And 1:34 to play. What a finish for the Big 12 regular season. Ton of time over the middle off the fingertips of Horn.
Oh,
and it was there.
It was the right throw, and he just missed it. It was a great read by Barnett. A good route in front of the safety. And he cut it loose, and he just let him just off the fingertips by inches.
2nd and 10. Woody leaves, White's in the backfield.
Aggressive throw by Barnett.
Again, a bullet, a low one. And below Reynolds behind him as well. 1:19 to play. A 3rd and 10 coming up.
Kansas State getting some new troops onto the field, trying to stay fresh, getting after Barnett. Let's see where this ball. Tell you, I think Reynolds had a shot for that. It was thrown low, which was the right throw in front of the safety. He had to get underneath that ball, though.
Need to get 10 over 2 snaps.
Got the people on their feet.
They wash out the offensive line. There goes the redshirt freshman, and it boils down to a 4th and 2 from the 31. And a timeout is going to be called by Paul Rhodes. So 22 seniors are playing for the final time at home for K-State. And they try to come up with a stop on 4th and 2 to preserve a win.
On that last run by Barnett, the left tackle, Kelechi Omoselli, he runs out of his own shoes. There's a shoe on the ground. He wouldn't have been able to play the next play if they'd gone right away. Runs right past the shoe. Barnett is just keeping these plays alive, using his athletic ability. Kind of a dual threat.
And he gets the first down, if not a diving attempt by Emmanuel Lemur. Who was one of the leading tacklers in the first half. He is for the game. A senior from West Palm Beach. So it boils down to, for a redshirt freshman, Jared Barnett. He needs 2 yards.
That says it all.
Fourth and 2 from the 31.
Gotta believe Woody's gonna get the ball.
It's Woody, and he can't get out of the backfield. It's on the ground. It's alive. Doesn't make any difference. Kansas State has stopped Iowa State and will prevail. Again, Lemur in the middle of things.
They were ready. Kansas State was ready for the option. Great penetration against the right side of the offensive line of Iowa State. That play was made by the defensive line of Kansas State. Penetration will stop a good running game, and there's nothing that Woody could have done differently on that play with the penetration. He feels bad hanging his head.
Lemur was around his ankle as he got the football.
Yeah, I mean, he never had a chance. The penetration stopped that play from the beginning. Carter Bykowski. Barnett, great valiant effort all the way around.
So now, just protect the football. Only 1 timeout up there for Iowa State. And K-State ready to celebrate at home. And I want to thank our producer, Bob Steinfeld, in the final minute as they use their final timeout. Our director, Phil Monica. Mark Alsmeyer is our technical manager. And Brian, I've enjoyed it. I wish we weren't having this conversation and we were working next week. It's been that good a season.
It's been a great fun to everybody down to the truck. Working with you, Joel, it's been a lot of fun, and we couldn't have gone out on a better game. I mean, right down to the final minute with drama and suspense. The fans have been phenomenal. A great year in the Big 12. Phenomenal effort by Colin Klein. The fight by Iowa State. You couldn't ask for anything more.
One more snap for Colin Klein. Man, Kansas State. First time they've had a 10-win season since 2003. So Bill Snyder has not lost his touch. They are one of the most disciplined teams you will ever see because they don't overwhelm you with speed, with talent.
No.
What they do is they don't beat themselves.
Well, they didn't beat themselves again tonight. And, you know, those players in that Kansas State sideline, they've got to feel great about the year that they had. They came out of nowhere. And who knows? Depends on what happened to Bedlam tonight at Oklahoma State and Stillwater. They could have a share of this Big 12 title before it's over tonight.
No one would have predicted a 10-win season at the beginning of the year for the Kansas State Wildcats. Look at Paul Rhodes seeking out Colin Klein.
Yeah, well, you have to. What a great season. That's a great deal of sportsmanship between Paul Rhodes and Bill Snyder. Wishing each other luck going down the future and wishing each other luck in their bowl games.
So it boils down to Bedlam. K-State gets the win, just barely. All 10 of their wins have been by 7 or less this year. And now they wait to find out if they get a share of the conference title. Bedlam tonight, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and they need the Sooners to win. Let's head down to Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joe. Coach Snyder right now talking to one of the Iowa State players, telling him a great game he had. Coach, let me get your thoughts real quick. Congratulations, 10 regular season wins. The last time that happened in 2003. You do it in dramatic fashion this afternoon, making a great defensive stand at the end.
Well, you know, that's 8 ball games that we have won by 7 or less points. And I'm 72 years old. This stuff can't go on. They're trying to get rid of me. I know that. Yes, they are. Well, I'm happy for them. No.
Talk about the offense today. Colin Klein, another terrific job. And Hubert, an outstanding game, getting the game winner. I think he finished 120 yards rushing.
Well, you know, I'm proud of Hugh. He does such a nice job. He runs so hard for a little bit of guy. You know, he's smaller than you are, and he keeps his feet going and runs. You know, he's a powerful young guy for being as tiny as he is.
Talk about tonight going on in Bedlam, Oklahoma against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma wins. You guys win a share of the conference championship. You a big Sooner fan tonight, Coach?
Most certainly.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Another terrific season. Best of luck in the bowl game, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Joel.
All right, Jim, thank you. And that shot is what college football is all about.
And he does it with class, and you can tell by the way the players respect the fans. This was a great finish on both sides. Well-played game. But Bill Snyder, I don't care if he's 72, Joel. The things he does to win football games, it never goes out of style, and it never gets old. And he sells team. That's what it's about, and it's on display right now.
22 seniors go out on a very high note in Manhattan, Kansas.
What a season by Colin Klein. I love that shot. I love that shot, Joel. That's truly a love affair in a small college town here in Kansas.
Yeah, savor the moment, and that's what these young men are doing. They don't want it to end.
And there is no 10-2 team without that man, Bill Snyder. His decision to come back 3 years ago, the best decision to happen with this program.
So the surprise of the Big 12 continues to get it done. They win for a 10th time. And now a chance for a share of the Big 12 title. Coming up later tonight on Fox, don't forget, Big 10 championship game. Number 13, Michigan State taking on number 15, Wisconsin. Join Fox tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. For Brian Baldinger, Jim Knox, our entire Fox crew, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us all season long. Final again, K-State prevails by 7-30-23. You've been watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. So long, everybody.